Assalamu alaikum, dear students. In our last class, we started talking about paragraph writing and their different types and techniques. And we also talked about the characteristics of a good paragraph. And after the characteristics, of course, unity, coherence, and development were the basic characteristics, of a good paragraph. And then we talked about what makes a group a paragraph. 4 things. Number 1, I said a group of sentences. Out of those 4 or 5 sentences, the first one should be a topic sentence. Topic sentence is the one which contains in itself the central idea or thought of the writer. And then the next a few sentences, we call them body, or you can also call it sportive details. They can be description, discussion, argumentation, could be anything, could be listing, could be order of importance, difficulty, or interest, or whatever. But that's the body of your paragraph. And the third one we talked about, third qualification for a group to be called a paragraph was the concluding line, or you can say just a conclusion. And fourth point was that the first topic sentence is going to be indented. That's, of course, a work of tab. Very important thing which I told you the other day was that make sure that all of these, sportive detail, this conclusion, topic sentence, they should flow out from each other. Sportive details should flow out from the central idea. This is how they will be connected in logical, sequence and connection. And conclusion has to also, it has to, flow out from either the topic sentence or, the sportive detail. It can be the restatement of the topic sentence, or it can be the summary of the sportive details. So this is how, a paragraph is actually made. I told you that putting 4, 5, 6 sentences together does not make that group a paragraph. Topic sentence, concluding sentence, indentation, and unity, and this coherence and development. And towards development, I said it should be, prospective order, in prospective order, starting from major going down to minor. So this is how things, should be. And then we talked about 2, types of paragraphs. One was listing paragraph, simple listing paragraph, in which what we do actually, in the body of the paragraph, we simply list out things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That these 4 or 5 things, we need. And the first example which I gave you, I still remember, was hiking. What different things, we need for hiking. There was one more example which I talked about, the interesting areas in New York. So what we did actually, we only listed out those areas. And we did not say which area is more interesting or which area is less interesting, because that is not the purpose of listing paragraph. Second type I gave you was order of importance. Order of importance means that in the body of the paragraph, we discuss most important thing first, second important thing second, and then third, and then onwards. Here, actually, we introduce the order, the preferences, the particular orders. This simple listing paragraphs, they are, the body of the paragraph is not in any particular order, whereas in order of importance, paragraph, all items are in particular order, from most important going down to the least important. And you can say in inverted pyramid, the most important thing first, least important thing last. So this is how, we prepare order of importance paragraph. And I tried to compare and contrast simple listing paragraphs and order of importance paragraphs. And there I said that topic sentence is same, concluding sentence is same, indentation is same. The difference between simple listing paragraph and order of importance is actually the body. Over there, no particular order, in order of importance, particular order. And if you remember, don't forget, I gave you a little homework also, which I now expect that, probably you did try writing, simple listing paragraphs. Today, I'll move towards my third type of paragraph. But before going to my third paragraph, I would like to give you one more example towards order of importance, and then I'll give you another homework for your home try, so that you could really, I'm giving you this time, little, home tasks, because this is something which totally depends upon, practice. It's not conceptual thing. There are lots of concepts we have talked about when we were discussing grammatical and effective sentences. When we were talking about the word choices, lots of concepts we talked about. But this paragraph writing and onwards, are areas which demand, I would say, huge practice. I mean, day and night practice, so that it could come in your pen in your hand, I mean, unconsciously, you should be able, to produce lovely paragraphs. Last example for order of importance, and then some tasks for you to try at home, and then, we'll move towards our third type, which of course will be time order, paragraphs. So one example for you. You can see on your screen, the topic I have given you is America's 3 biggest cities. Very simple thing. In this topic, 3 biggest thing, we'll say the most important, the second most important, the third most important, okay? In listing paragraph, it would have been, just mentioning of the 3 cities, not saying that which one is most important and which one is least important. In order of importance, it goes this way. Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York City are the 3 largest cities in the United States. And among them, they contain more than 20% of America's population. Now, what is going to come now? Order of importance. Like Chicago, the smallest of the 3. Now, look here. We started comparing the smallest of the 3, the largest of the 3. So this is how, like, this kind of language is the language of the order of importance. And while reading, you should focus tightly on such words and phrases which actually, help you differentiate between simple listing and order of importance. The sentence goes, Chicago, the smallest of the 3, with a population of about 3 million, is the state of Illinois in the nation's Midwest. Its largest industries are the transportation and metal industries. It's famous for its modern architecture, particularly its skyscrapers. And then comes, now your second point, which is what? Los Angeles, the second largest city, is in California and has a population of slightly over 3 million. It is famous for Hollywood, the movie-making capital of America. It is also well known for its sprawling highways. After this comes our third, point, New York, America's largest city, has a population of about 7 million. It is America's largest port and is the nation's financial center. With its many theaters, museums, and ballet companies, it is first in cultural activities. After this, you would see the 3, cities we have talked about. And did you see the difference between, because, you have tried at home simple listing paragraphs. Over there, you were just mentioning them 1, 2, 3. And in here, you talked about the smallest of the 3, the largest, the second smallest, or the second largest. This is how you talked about. And now comes the concluding sentence to let it be called, a paragraph. And it goes, each city is a typical large American city, but each has its own personality and qualities. This is what we call order of importance. In order of importance, we express our ideas in a particular order. Most important first, least important second, or some writers try variety also, that they start from, you can say in a pyramid style, least important first and most important last, small first and large last, or in an inverted pyramid style, large first and small last. It doesn't matter. What matters most is, that you mention order of importance in the, paragraphs. Now, I would like to give you some home tasks. Take a look. Try at home, one of these three topics and try to develop your paragraphs and see how they, differ from simple listing paragraphs. The topics I have given you are pretty interesting. I mean, you can take a look. The three biggest cities in your country, or the three most important historical places in your country, or the most interesting places in your hometown. Now, these are three, topics. What you are going to take care of is that doesn't matter you follow pyramid inverted or, simple pyramid style or inverted, doesn't matter. What matters most is that you talk about that which one is the most important, which one is the most interesting, which one is the, most enjoyable, place, or which one is more fun, I mean, visiting, and then the second fun, the third fun, second important, third important. So this is how, you'll be preparing, your order of importance paragraph. Now let's move towards our third type of paragraph, which is, time order paragraph. When I say time order paragraph, what actually I mean? It means that things, the way like, Stephen R. Covey says, first thing first. The time order paragraph, the most important thing towards time order is that first thing first. I mean, let's say if you ask me, talk about, all, from your birth time to, this, I'll of course start from my childhood, then my, early school, then my high school, then my college, then my university, then my job thing, then my learning from, different institutions, and then, coming to virtual university. So what actually I'm doing, this is called time. Now I'm not just listing, my different phases in my life. No, I'm not listing them, or I'm not saying, which one was more, interesting and which was not, or which one was more difficult, or which one was, easier. I'm not talking about these things. What I'm only talking about is, in a chronological order. First thing first, childhood, high school, college, university, my then job, and my, gaining experience working at different institutions, then virtual university. So what actually I did? Time order. First thing first. So in time order, what we do actually, we use this kind of paragraphing for storytelling. Writers, when they write their biographies, autobiographies or biographies, their chapters always start from the same way, like, where he was born, where he was brought up, and what schools and colleges he attended, where he then, went, and then which institutions, he served, and then retirement, and now these days what he's doing, and what he will be doing, in the next coming few years. So this is time order paragraphs. They're very, very important paragraph. Very, very important. Because, this journalistic writing, I mean, mostly the stories, actually, the news things, they, in there, like, we follow time order a lot, Of course, listing and order of importance will be very much there, but time order, writing is, a hallmark, of course, of journalistic writing. So you got to really master it. Important thing I'm again saying is, in time order, sequence is the most important thing, and progression. Sequence and progression is the most important thing. And order is in which the events are occurring. What I'm saying is, you write in that order in which the events have actually occurred. You are not going to, follow any self-chosen or adopted sequence. No, not at all. Look, in listing paragraph, choice was with you. What to mention first, what to mention second, what to mention third. In order of importance, again, priority was yours. To you, what's most important? To you, what's second most important? What's third most important? In time order paragraphs, excuse me, sir, choice is not with you. Choice is with the events, actually. The way events have occurred, same way you will narrate them. Very simple thing. Is it clear? Oh, yeah. Now, one example, like how time order paragraphs are written. On your screen, you can see my European holiday. Last year, I took a month-long to Europe. Did you see? The first sentence again is a topic sentence which contains central idea that it was a month-long trip. He did not mention, where, which places he visited. Just he like, opened it very nicely, globally, generally. And now in the next, sentences, of course, he will be talking about all the time orders of the sequence and the progression. So comes next is, first, I went to London. I stayed there for 2 weeks. I saw many historical places and went to several shows. After London, I flew to Paris, where I went shopping and visited Louvre. I stayed in Paris for a week. Then I went to Rome by train. In Rome, I saw the Colosseum, the Pantheon, and Vatican City. After a week in Rome, I flew home. It was an educational and enjoyable trip. The last sentence again is what? A closing sentence, conclusion. And did you see the time words? What writer is using to make it different from order of importance or simple listing? He is using first, second, then, after this, after that. And these are time words actually, which we use to make it distinct. Like the first he mentioned with was, first I went to, then he said, after London, then he said, then I went to, then he said, after a week in Rome, I flew home. It was an enjoyable. So this is how he has, enlisted his, ideas. What? The first thing which he did first is mention first. So we are moving actually from past to present. Let's see what's more. If you analyze what I said, that topic sentence is coming first, then the body. Inside the body, 4 things he did. Went to London, went to Paris, went to Rome, returned home, and then conclusion. So this is how time order paragraphs, are arranged. Now, let me now give you another, task to rather highlight and understand time order paragraphs. Let's say we staged a play last week. So what different, and I want to write on it. Like in my university, we staged a play. You or me, we all worked for that play thing. And let's jot down in time order the way this, this ceremony or this, stage play was arranged. So what different things we did? Let's, on a piece of paper, jot down those. Like first, we selected the play. The first thing is what? We selected the play. The second thing, director was chosen. Who is going to direct this play? The third thing was, began casting the play. Who is going to play different roles? The first, we selected the play. Then we found out, who should direct this play. Third thing, who is going to perform in this, play. And then another very important decision was, who is going to be the costume and set designer. And all this while, we kept on rehearsing things. And then the time came, when we did a full dress rehearsal. And then, the final show was there. So this is how it all happened. The play thing, director, then the performers, then, the costume designers and the stage designers. And then, during this time, of course, we had been rehearsing things. Then there was a full dress rehearsal. And then this is what actually the order was of different, events which led us towards the final show of that play. Now, let's make a paragraph. How we'll make a paragraph? The first item is going to be topic sentence, the central idea. Then all these 5, 6 points which I have counted in front of you in the same sequence. Why? Because first thing first. Don't forget this rule in time order paragraphs. First thing first, and then second, and then third, and then fourth. And then there will be a concluding sentence. The first sentence is going to be indented. Example is now, crafted paragraph is there in front of you. Last weekend, we put on our annual drama. It was a great success, but it was also hard work. Now, this much is your topic sentence, central idea. And now those 5, 6, sequences which we discussed with you are going to come next. We began planning 2 months ago. First, we selected the play. next, a director was chosen. Please keep your eyes on the time, words, and phrases. The sentence is taking its start from first, then next. These words are very important. In order of importance, we were using first important, second important, third important, least important. And in here, first, next. Next, a director was chosen. After that, please need your attention. After that, we began casting the play. The next step was to find people to design and make the costumes and sets. All this while, we were rehearsing. Finally, 2 weeks ago, we held a dress rehearsal, and at last, we felt we were ready for opening night. Because of all our hard work and careful preparations, the play was a big hit now. This is how time order paragraphs are, created. They are produced. I would like to, re-stress again the time, words and phrases which are very, very, very important. Actually, the whole job they perform. Your job is only to recall how different events, the order of those events, they occurred. And then the remaining job will be the job of the time, words, and phrases to start sentences. Like in this paragraph, we used 5, 6 time phrases, like the one first, next, after that, the next, all this while, finally, at last. So this is how, our order of importance paragraph goes. One more example for you, city or country. This is, one topic. And let's see how we are, preparing our body of this paragraph and giving it a touch of time order. Let's take a look. I was born in 1969 in New York City. I lived there until 1979 when I was 10. That year, my father got a new job and we moved to rural Vermont. At first, I didn't like living in the country. Look at this, at first. We are now using time phrase, at first. I didn't like living in the country. Now, country here means actually a town. Not country means the country, actually, like Pakistan or England, or we are talking about the town. Because I had never lived outside New York City before. Eventually, I got to like it very much. When I graduated from high school in 1988, I had a big decision to make. Should I go to college in the city or in the country? I thought about it for a long time, and finally I decided to stay in the country. In the autumn of 1988, I enrolled in the University of Vermont, where I'm now in my junior year. I'm very happy about the choice I made. When I finish college, I'd like to find a job in the country. Just see, like at start, I said that, time order paragraphs, like people write the biographies, starting from A going to, Z. Here, please keep in mind, if you put the 3 paragraphs together, listing paragraph, simple lists, order of importance, particular orders are mentioned, and in time order, in the first 2, choices with you. It's your choice how to list out. It's your choice what to give more importance. In time order, not at all. That's why we say time order paragraphs are a little more factual. The way things are. I mean, if I talk about my, life history, or my mother talks about my life history, or you as my student, talk about my life history, the, events will be the same. You will start from childhood. My mother going to start from childhood. Of course, I'll start from childhood because, first thing is first. And then, onwards, in 2000, if I was working with ABC organization, and in 2006, I'm working with XYZ organization, of course, we all 3 are going to mention first ABC and then XYZ. So this is how these paragraphs, are composed. One more home task for you, which you can try at home and see whether you are now able to produce time order paragraphs, and are you able to, keep your paragraphs distinct from each other, listing separate, order of importance separate, and time order, separate. Task for you is prepare a paragraph in which you tell the story of a book you have read or movie you have seen. How, of course, you will do it? I mean, the movie which you have seen, the way like events were there in the movie, the way movie started, the way it developed, the way it ended, exactly the same way, you are going to, write about. Let's now move towards our fourth type of paragraph, which is spatial order paragraph. Spatial order paragraphs are used, like as the word suggests, actually spatial from the space. So we use it to describe scenes, actually. You can describe your room, if you want to describe a room or the setting of your room, or you want to describe your home, you want to describe your school or your classroom, for example. Not people, please keep in mind. Spatial order has got nothing to do with the people description. We'll discuss it, separately. Here means, spatial is from space, so scenes, actually. You can talk about, the hotel you stayed in. You can talk about your college, university. You can talk about your country. You can talk the whole world, actually. I mean, what is towards north and east and west and, south? That would be in spatial order. Now, you can very rightly guess what type of words will be used to make it different from the other three paragraphs. Of course, like directions will be very important here, like north and south and east and west. This will be, we'll be talking about. And left and right words will be like on my left, on my right, on the left wall, on the right wall. This will be in the right wall, in the left wall, windows if you talk about. What is on your front, what is on your back. Center will be very important. Up and down kind of words will be very much, playing a role in, describing those scenes. So this is how, this paragraph, will move. If you compare now with listing, order of importance, time order, and, spatial, don't you think blindly four are totally different from each other? Oh, yes. Now, these four types, just to say a few words, then I'll, of course, explain you this spatial thing. These four, in longer, larger, more complicated and complex texts, you know what? All the four we try out in our, discourse and in our texts. I mean, when you write essays, for example, in your essays, you list things also. You give order of importance also. You talk about, history also, stories also. You do, describe different scenes, different spaces also. So these four, which are four basic types of paragraphs. After this fourth, then the fifth and sixth and seventh, they will be totally different. They will be like, multi-paragraphic thing. These four are basic. And in complicated texts, like in essays or in articles, these all four are simultaneously the writers, use to, bring different pieces of information. Of course, these four paragraphs bring in different pieces of information, like listing will be just the lists. Order means, your preferences, your choices, your priorities, your biases, your partialities. And this one, time order, for example, over there, you will be very, very factual towards the occurrence of, different events. And in here, spatial, of course, it can be objective and subjective both, but it will be, description of the scenes and spaces. One example of spatial order for you. Take a look, a comfortable place. Now, when we say comfortable place, let's say the writer has written about his own room, for example. In his room, there'll be four walls, floor, ceiling, center of that room, okay? Of course, he'll be describing the same things. And then he, has set his room. He has put sofa somewhere. He has, put some painting somewhere. Some decoration pieces are there. His writing table is somewhere. Maybe his, some couches are there. His bed is also there. Windows are there. Some windows are with curtains and some are without curtains, for example. Door is also there. Or there are two doors, I mean. And he has his favorite corner also. And, this is how. There is an attached bath also. So which side of the room is attached bath, its door? and it's small or large, it's well ventilated or not. There is exhaust fan as well. So which side, on which wall is so this he'll be describing. Let's take a look. My favorite room is my living room. This is what? A topic sentence. Like all paragraphs have first topic sentence. A paragraph without topic sentence, believe me, is not a paragraph. Now you have understood. I have stressed a lot upon it. My favorite room is my living room. Fine. It's rectangular with the door on the left side of the south wall. Now look here, rectangular. He talked about the shape. It's not square, it's not circular, it's rectangular with the door on the left side of the north wall. Of course, there are four walls, there are four sides, east, west, north, and south. So the door is on the left side of the south wall. If, let's say, this is the south wall, for example, so left side of the south wall. And then comes, in the wall opposite the door is a picture window. Now, if we talked about this is the south and door is somewhere here, opposite this, now he is talking about, north of room, and he's saying in the wall opposite the door is picture window. Below the window is a sofa. Please keep an eye on the words, which actually create difference. We are now talking about words like east, west, north, south, under, below, up, above, inside, outside, see? Square, circular, rectangular. These words are, used actually for the spatial, order paragraphs. Let's continue. Facing the sofa are two armchairs. Now, facing is another, important word which shows direction. Facing the sofa are two armchairs. An abstract painting is on the west wall. Along the east wall, you will see a long cabinet with a vase of flowers on it. To the right of the cabinet is a small table with a telephone on it. This bright and uncluttered room is my favorite place to relax. Now, this is what? This is the conclusion of the paragraph. And of course, in first line is indented. So the structure of this spatial order will also be the same. First one will be the topic sentence, which should carry the central idea. Then comes the spatial order lines. Now, in here also, unlike time order paragraphs, it's your choice which side of the room or the space you start from. You can start from the east, west, north. You can start from the center, doesn't matter. If you put anything in the center of the room, you can start from there. You can start from the ceiling, from the floor, from outside inside, or from inside outside. Doesn't matter. Choice is with you. So out of these four types of paragraphs, there is only one paragraph where you don't have choice, and that is what? Time order paragraph. You have to start with the principle first thing first. In listing, your choice. In order of importance, your choice. And in spatial order paragraph, your choice. Of course, when choice is yours, then you can bring in a lot of creativity and innovation, creative starts, creative endings, you can, of course, introduce. And as far as the factual, time order stuff is concerned, of course, you can be equally creative. But over there, you have to be very, very, very careful that your creativity or innovation does not violate the rule for the time order, which is what? Events in the same order in which they have, happened. Now, I would like to discuss with you a few, phrases which are, very important to keep in mind and make use of in spatial order paragraphs. I have enlisted some 10, 12 important, words and phrases. Let's take a look of them. Like, as I told you before, left and right, front and back, center, east and west, north and south, next to, above, below, behind, in front, and top. Now, these are some important phrases. Make use of them and, produce and make your, paragraph look different from the other three. Now, one more example for you, and then we'll move towards multi-paragraphic, texts. Before this, one example. Our campus. The campus of International College is on the north side of the Route 107. Now, please, when I read this for you, you just focus on the same, time, spatial order, words and phrases which we use actually, like on the north side. And then it is rectangular piece of land about 2 miles from east to west and 1 mile from north to south. One long side of the rectangle fronts on Route 107. In the center of this side is the main entrance. Directly inside the main entrance is the administration building. It is a 3-story block building and the oldest building in campus. It contains the administrators and teachers' offices. To the east, now this is an important thing to note down, of the administration's building is the classroom building. It's a long 2-story building with a long side facing. So this is how in this text you can very easily underline those words which are actually underscoring the sentences and showing them, presenting them as spatial order paragraphs. A few more, like you can say behind the gymnasium, run side by side, east to west on the north side of the campus. So this is how these are made. One, before I go any further towards our next type of paragraph, which of course going to be multi-paragraphic texts, I would like to give you one home task you can try at home. Like, picture in your mind a place that you know very well. Now write an outline of a paragraph describing that place without drawing a diagram first. I mean, it's very easy if you get hold of a picture and start describing it. That's very easy. Of course, when you finish describing, you will actually finish writing a spatial order paragraph. Not necessarily you need pictures or maps to write spatial order things. I mean, you visit every day market areas, you visit your school and your college, and you go to your friends houses. You do weekends go to like some historical places if available in your city, or you have ever visited. Very simple thing, recall and try writing a spatial order paragraphs that you went to some mosque, for example. So same way, what was left, right, front, back, center. If there were some fountains in the centers, you can talk about it. Some floral setting was there, you can talk about, and some on the roof thing, and inside the halls and the corridors, and all these things would be of course spatial order writing. Let's now move towards our next type of paragraph, which is what? Multi-paragraph composition. This is when we say multi-paragraph composition. Now we are moving to the third category of language writing. Look here. First was small unit was sentence, and sentence had how many qualities or characteristics? 4. Then we move towards paragraph. What we did actually towards paragraph, we combined the sentences and we created paragraph. And paragraph has 3 characteristics. And now we are moving towards multi-paragraph composition. Means now not just one paragraph, many paragraphs. Of course, in sequence, in order. Sequence of course will be logical and pragmatic. Like in sentences, there is one, it's just not a ritual actually, it's biggest rule, that a sentence should have one single idea. Exactly the same way, a paragraph should have one single idea and the remaining ideas, built across that one single idea. So unity is very much there. It's paragraph, if there is anything, if there is anything which can easily or which actually flows out from the central idea, can stay inside a paragraph. If there is any point, even if it's a relevant point, but it does not flow out from, that central idea, has to be kicked out from the paragraph. And they say, if there are points Please, I need your attention. This is little, complicated. What I'm trying to say is, paragraph has to have a unity. One single idea, one central idea. Every other details flow out from that central idea. If there is any point which does not flow out from that central idea, even if it's relevant, but it does not flow out from that idea, they say that build or construct a different paragraph, a new paragraph. So we, in that case, what we do actually, we itemize those things. For example, let's say I'm writing a paragraph in which, I want to suggest you something. You have got some problem, and I am going to write a solution-oriented paragraph. And I would recommend you 1, 2, 3, like A is one way, B is second way, C is third way. Out of these 3, you can pick and choose the one, which suits you, for example. Since these are 3 separate in nature, different in nature, solutions, therefore they cannot, stand together in the same paragraph. So what we do actually, then we itemize them like 1, 2, 3, following our, 3 solutions, and we kick them out from the paragraph. So this game, paragraph writing game, is so delicate, so sensitive, that any point which is, even if it's relevant, but it cannot flow out from the central theme, can, sit inside. Now, when we say multi-paragraph composition, this example which I gave you, this has to be, kept in, this has to, you have to keep this one in mind, so that, wherever you find information, of 2, 3 different in nature types, what you do actually, start a new paragraph, follow the same, rules, topic sentence, concluding sentence, inside the body, indent it. So this is how, you'll be doing it. In front of you, I have given you an example, which is such kind of piece. I mean, you can see on the slide, starting from like everyone else, going down to such good friends. We call it, brick wall. Presentation of facts and figures like a wall. I mean, you keep writing. There is no full stop. Full stop means, there is no, paragraphic division. You are, you have created actually a whole wall in front of yourself, which of course is going to confuse your readers. We have to find out those delicate points, which can win the starting of a new paragraph. You can take a look on the screen that the first 2 sentences, I turned it bold because they are the topic sentence. First, I'll introduce you to my friend William. And then you can see another writing. Another important person to me is Janet. And then there is the third person I think is special is Tom. Now, see, these are 3 different friends I'm talking about. Therefore, since these are 3 different friends, the details about those 3 different friends are going to be very much different. So how come these 3 friends and their relevant details, can stay in the same paragraph? Therefore, we are going to split this brick wall paragraph into, let's say, 1 topic sentence and 3 friends, and then conclusion, 5 paragraphs. You can take a look. I have divided them into, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the last 5. Now you can take a look. The first sentence is, like everyone else, I know all kinds of people, and I'm friendly with most of them. Among all the people I've gotten to know, I have several very close friends. Now, the new paragraph starts. First, I'll introduce you to my friend William. Then the second paragraph. Another important person to me is Janet. Then the third paragraph. The third person I think is special is Tom. And then the last paragraph, which is, of course, concluding paragraph. William, Janet, and Tom. Each of them is important to me in a different way. I feel lucky to have, such good friends. Now, important question from your side is, what is the structure of multi-paragraph composition? Of course, when I'm describing my friends, I said first, second, and third. If I use this language, that first important friend, second important friend, third important friend, it means the organization of my paragraph was what? Order of importance. Or if I did not use this kind of language, first important, second important, or third important, I simply mentioned friend 1, then 2, and then 3, then of course the organization will be what you call that listing, simple listing. If I use this kind of language, that A is my best friend because I met him first in 1980. Second is my best friend, I met him in 2000. Third is my best, and I met him in 2006. Now, this will be what? Time order. The way you met with people, the same way like you are talking about. So in multi-paragraph composition, organizations are one of the 4, or at the same time all 4. You are describing them. You can describe their houses where they live, you can talk about how they met and what happened next. So there will be listing, simple listing also, order of importance also, time order also, and spatial also. Now what will be the skeleton of multi-paragraph? Look, skeleton will be paragraph 1 will be your what you call topic paragraph, in which you will express your central idea. Then paragraph 2. Inside this paragraph 2, again there will be sentence 1 as central idea, body, and then conclusion. Then paragraph 3. In paragraph 3 also again central idea first, body, and conclusion. Paragraph 4, again first sentence will be central idea, then body and conclusion, and then the last paragraph will be the conclusion. What I mean, a paragraph has 3 important items: topic sentence, body, and conclusion. Now you are producing multi-paragraph. It means in every paragraph now there will be one central idea, one body and conclusion. Second paragraph, again central idea, body. Now, together these all paragraphs, the language which I used in previous lecture, that they will be under the same umbrella. Umbrella means the mood, the theme of the whole essay, right? So under that topic, an example, if you remember last time I gave you was, this pollution thing, the start of this lecture, starting from, the past situation, the current situation, the causes and effects, and remedy. See, pollution is what? The major theme, and then you have minor themes working inside. Major theme is pollution. Inside you have background, then you have present scene, then you have causes of that pollution, then effects of that pollution, then remedy of that pollution. So major theme is pollution. Inside the major theme you have minor themes. Now, every minor theme will have 3 items inside. First, central idea, then body, then conclusion. Central, body, conclusion. Central, body, conclusion. So this is how multi-paragraph compositions are, constructed. Same example I have for you. Important points I have highlighted so that you could really understand what I mean. Major central idea, then minor central ideas actually mean what. Like in this example, you can see the first paragraph is the topic sentence, in which you said that your 3 friends, the closest friends you have. Then the first paragraph, you can see the first sentence is bold. First, I'll introduce you to my friend William. Now this is what? This is the topic sentence of this very paragraph. The next 1 or 2 sentences are what? That's the body of that paragraph, that why he's your best friend. And then the last sentence of the same paragraph: William, I have a friend with whom I can relax and be myself. In this paragraph, first you said William, then you explained why William is your close friend, and then you said William is somebody like, you can sit freely and frankly. Then you start your next paragraph. Another important person to me is Janet. Now this is your topic sentence. The next coming lines are, what? They are the details of that topic sentence. And again in the same sentence, the last, Janet is one friend I know I can always depend on during good times and bad times. So what we are doing, every paragraph, important and interesting thing is, every paragraph is starting from the topic sentence, then development, then, closing sentence. And this is how the whole, our network or our web is constructed, which we call as multi-paragraph composition. Let's move towards our next multi-paragraph composition, and that is called contrastive composition. Contrastive composition means in which you compare, let's say, A and B. I mean, if you want to talk about major cities of Pakistan, for example, let's say Karachi, let's say Lahore, let's say these two cities, you want to discuss. So you will be comparing and contrasting, these two cities. This is called contrastive, composition. Same way, if you're comparing two cities, please keep in mind, if you're comparing two cities, then let's say Karachi's paragraph separate, city Lahore's paragraph separate. Don't try to bring the both in one paragraph. You know why? Again, the unity will be, the question. So in this kind of, structure, the first will be your topic sentence. I mean, the opening of your, this, let's say, essay. Then in the next paragraph, you'll talk about Karachi. Third paragraph, you'll talk about Lahore. And in the last paragraph, you will talk about what? You'll talk about the closing of your, this essay thing. So this is called contrastive. You compare and you contrast, these things. Time is actually short, so I'll explain you more about this contrastive and your next cause and effect composition in my next class. Today, what we talked about, two more simple paragraph styles, like time order was one and spatial was second. The total were 4. If I count from the previous lecture, simple listing, order of importance, and then time order, and then spatial. These are 4 basic types of paragraphs. And then we move towards multi-paragraph compositions, and these compositions are, we call it paragraphs inside paragraphs. I mean to say the rules are the same, like big composition has its own, opening, central idea, closing, conclusion. Then inside you have paragraphs. They also have the central ideas, the body and the conclusion. This is how, we construct such. And then we talked about, contrastive paragraphs in which, we compare and contrast, could be cities, could be items, could be objects, could be, people. So this is how, our multi-paragraph, text goes. We'll continue this discussion in our next class. Then, of course, we'll move towards, descriptive, narrative, and expository also. Side by side, we'll talk about very, very important subject of our discussion. What we call that, the transitions, the how to connect, ideas inside the paragraph and across the paragraphs. I hope you understood today's, our lecture, and I believe you enjoyed it. Next time, we'll continue it briefly, then we'll move towards our next new topic. Take care of yourself and each other. See you next time. Bye-bye.